Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back, and it is finally opening day in the MLB. We got almost every team opening the season today. I saw earlier that there was a few games that were canceled, so yeah, pretty exciting time in the baseball world. Um, Obviously we got my team, the Yankees, taking on the Blue Jays at 3:30 up in Toronto. Um, got a few teams opening a little earlier in the afternoon. A couple of teams opening later at night, but I don't know. It's shaping up to be a pretty exciting season in Major League Baseball. You got the Yankees with all their big power hitters, and a lot of teams like the Giants and a couple other teams trying to come back to where they were a couple of years ago. So I was just thinking I would do like a predictions video for this year for all the divisions and that kind of stuff. So I'll start with the AL East. So my prediction to win the AL East is probably not surprising considering I'm a Yankees fan, but I am picking the Yankees to win the American League East. Um, with a record of, we'll say, 97-65. I'll say that as a record. And then I picked the Red Sox to come in second. I don't, they did add JD Martinez in the off season, but I just don't think that they could compete with the Yankees offense. I mean, if Chris Sale does good, they could, but you got to have more than one pitcher. I mean, obviously, I don't know what David Price is doing, if he's in the bullpen like he was last year, or if he's still starting. But yeah, there's that. And then I have the Blue Jays in third. With Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette not exactly majorly ready yet. I don't think they're gonna be able to contend in the American League East quite yet. And then fourth place, I have the Rays, which means I have the Orioles in last place. Um, yeah, I mean the Rays just they offloaded a lot of players. They didn't really make any moves in the off season to bring in good major league level players, but that they don't really ever, they hardly ever bring in many free agents. They just draft, and then when the players come good, they trade them. But and then the Orioles, they've had a decent offense for the last few years, but their pitching is just not very good. I know Chris Tillman had a big injury last year, and he wasn't doing as well as he did the year before when they made the playoffs. But who knows? Maybe if he comes back and um, Ubaldo Jimenez could start being an actual good pitcher like he was in Colorado, they could surprise a couple people, but I don't see it happening. So I have them finishing last in AL East. So now we move over to the AL Central, where I don't think there's many surprises here. I think almost everyone has the Indians winning this division. Won it the last couple years. Really good team. You got Lindor and Jose Ramirez and all those kinds of players and Encarnacion and of course you have Corey Kluber on the mound, reigning Cy Young winner. So I think they would be a very hard team to beat in that division. So I have them finishing with a record of 96-66. Um, so not as good as they did last year, but I mean they did lose Carlos Santana, and I think after this year they're gonna probably lose Andrew Miller, so that would be a big piece to lose. But I think they're still gonna do good this year. And in second place, I have the Minnesota Twins. Obviously, won the wild card last year. Played the Yankees in a wild card game. They have the same core of players returning with Miguel Cano and Rosario, and um, they brought in Logan Morrison to play first base. Um, they were in the Otani and Yu Darvish race for a little bit, but then they did not make real serious offers for them. But I think they could still have a good team, and if you get into the wild card game, anything could happen. You could win in one game, and then you can go on a run in a 5-game series. You could win, but I think that they'll be one of the wild card teams in the American League. So third place in the American League Central, I have the Kansas City Royals, who brought back Eric Hosmer, or not Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, sorry, for very much less than you're looking for. I think only like $7 million, $8 million, but yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I just don't know if they have enough offensive pieces to catch the Twins in that division for the wild card. But in fourth place in the American League Central, I have the Chicago White Sox, who have a lot of young talent. Could be, who knows, in 5 years you could be talking about them to win this division. But I think right now it's just not ready yet for them. But who knows? Maybe in a few years it'll be the time for them. Obviously they have Jose Abreu and young prospects like Michael Kopech and I can't think of his name, but that's a guy. But and then in last place in this division, I have the Detroit Tigers, who just traded a lot of players last year. Traded Justin Verlander and Justin Upton, and basically like some of the only players they have left from when they used to be good are like Miguel Cabrera, and basically that's it. So I don't really see them doing much of anything this year, but who knows? So now we go to the AL West, where I do believe that the Houston Astros will win this division pretty easily. I know the Angels are going to be better than they've been in previous years. Of course, always have Mike Trout, always going to be a good player. And then, the signing of Otani, who knows how he's going to perform in the MLB. And, you also have an older Albert Pujols and Justin Upton. But, they could. I think the Astros will win this division, and the Angels will finish in second. But I think they'll just miss out on the wild card. I think the Twins will get the second wild card again this year, with the Red Sox winning the first wild card. And then third in the American League West, I have the Texas Rangers, and they made a couple signings in the offseason, but I just don't think they'll be able to get quite back to where they were when they were in the World Series those couple years in a row. But in fourth place, I have the Seattle Mariners. They still have obviously Felix Hernandez, and they brought back Ichiro, and they have Robinson Cano, and so if all those players, if I don't know exactly what Ichiro's role is going to be in Seattle. I don't know if he's going to be a DH or what's going to be going on there, but I just I just don't think they have the pieces as far as rotation and hitters in other positions that they'll be able to do much of anything in the American League West. And then finally, in last place in the AL West, I have the Oakland Athletics. Yeah, basically that they haven't been good for a few years, and um, yeah, I don't really expect them to be good this year either. But now moving over to the National League, we we have starting in the National League East, I have the Washington Nationals winning this division. Um, Obviously with pitchers like Steven Strasburg and Max Scherzer, who's the reigning Cy Young in the National League, and of course Bryce Harper and Ryan Zimmerman and good hitters like that. I think they'll be able to easily win that division. Um, Obviously they did pretty good last year, but they lost in the playoffs. But in second place in that division, I do have the New York Mets. Um, I think they'll be able to. I I think that their pitchers will be able to stay healthy. Finally, will be able to stay healthy. Um, and I think they'll be able to make the wild card. Um, yeah. So basically they I mean they've had all good pitchers for a long time now. It's just they've never been able to stay healthy. Um, I'm not sure exactly if Matt Harvey's going to come back, pitching well, but I think if they have Syndergaard and DeGrom and Jason Vargas, um, all healthy and pitching well, I think they could get a wild card position in in the National League, and then third place in that division I have the Atlanta Braves, who have a lot of young stars in Ronald Acuna and players like that, but not really much major league players. Obviously they have Julio Teheran, but I don't think that they're going to be ready to contend this year. And in fourth place I have the Philadelphia Phillies, and yeah, basically they're like pretty much the same stories that the Braves. They have a lot of young players, but not much major league talent. I mean, obviously they did sign Jake Arrieta in the offseason, but I just don't think, and Carlos Santana, but I just don't think that would be enough to propel them into the playoff race in the National League. And then in last place I have the Miami Marlins. Obviously, they traded Giancarlo Stanton. They traded Christian Yelich. Um, they traded basically almost every good player that they had. Um, they do have Starlin Castro from the Yankees, pretty good player, but I just they're not going to be able to do much of anything. Uh, but yeah, so now we move on to the National League Central, and I think this is really one of the only divisions in the MLB where there's some speculation, what team could win it. Like most divisions have a pretty clear winner, but you could have the Cubs or the Cardinals or the Brewers winning in this division. But I do have the Chicago Cubs winning this division again. Um, and I have the Milwaukee Brewers finishing second. Um, yeah, I have the Milwaukee Brewers finishing second. I do have them getting the first wild card in the National League. Um, I just think that they have some pretty good pitchers, and they have some pretty good bats in their lineup. So I think they'll be able to get the first wild card in the National League. And then third place I have the St. Louis Cardinals. they have a couple pretty good pitchers and Carlos Martinez and a couple other guys, but I just don't think they'll be able to catch the Cubs or the Brewers in that division. And then in fourth place, I have the Pittsburgh Pirates. Obviously, they traded Andrew McCutchen, and you know they still have Josh Harrison and a couple other guys, and Ron Nova is their opening day pitcher, but I don't think they'll be able to do that much, especially without McCutchen. And in last place in the National League East, I have the Cincinnati Reds. Obviously, they still have Joey Votto, who's going to be a good player almost every year. You could count on him playing almost every game and doing good for you. But I just don't think that they have any other or much of any other good players. I mean, obviously they signed Eugenio Suarez for a few more years, but I just don't think that he's a good enough level player to make them do better in the division. And then in the National League West, we have the Dodgers winning that division. I think not surprisingly to anyone. Obviously the reigning National League champion. Still have young players like Bellinger and Yasiel Puig, and then also players like Matt Kemp returning, and Clayton Kershaw obviously is a pitcher, one of the best pitchers in the league. So I think they'll be able to quite easily win the National League West, with the Colorado Rockies coming in second. And then I think the Diamondbacks will be in third, with losing JT Martinez, and that's a big bat to lose in their lineup. He hit like 25 home runs for them when he was there. I just don't think they'll be able to be quite as good as they were last year. And then in fourth place in that division, I have the San Francisco Giants. I know they added a lot of pieces, with Evan Longoria from Tampa Bay and Andrew McCutchen from the Pirates, but I just don't think they'll be able to hold up in that division. And I have them finishing fourth. And then in last place in the National League West, I think most people have this too. I think the San Diego Padres will finish last. I mean, they do have hitters like Will Myers and not really much else other than that, but I just don't think they'll be able to do that much. And then in the playoffs, I have obviously the wild card game as the Red Sox and the Twins, which I do have the Red Sox winning. And and then in the National League wild card game, I have as the Mets and the Brewers, which I do have the Milwaukee Brewers moving on from that. And then in the playoffs, in the actual playoffs, I have the Cleveland Indians taking on the Red Sox, and the Astros taking on the Yankees in the first round. And I do believe the Yankees will win that in the first round, and the Indians will beat the Red Sox. And in the ALCS, obviously that would lead to the Indians and the Yankees in the ALCS. I think the Yankees will be able to win that series. You can get good starting pitching if CC's as good as he was last year, I think. And Sonny Gray starts to perform like he did in Oakland, a couple years ago. I think they'll be able to do good with that. And then in the National League, I have the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Chicago Cubs taking on the Washington Nationals. And I believe that the Dodgers will pretty easily beat the Brewers, and the Nationals will take care of the Chicago Cubs. And then in the National League Championship Series, I do have the Dodgers beating the Nationals in that series. I know Nationals have been in the playoffs for a few years now, but they haven't really quite been able to get past the first round. I think they'll be able to do that this year, but they won't quite be able to get past the Dodgers to go to the World Series. And then in the World Series, as the Yankees and the Dodgers, I do believe that the Yankees could win that series. Um, Obviously it'll be kind of a problem with four outfielders that they have. You know, if when they play in National League Park, you're gonna have to sit one of them. But I think they could still be. I think they could still definitely win that series and become the World Series champion. Now for like award predictions, I do have Giancarlo Stanton winning the American League MVP and um, Corey Kluber repeating as AL Cy Young. Um, rookie of the year, to be honest, I'm not really sure what actual rookies there are like right now in the American League, but um, I know Gleyber Torres is gonna come up with the Yankees, probably towards the end of April, but I don't know if he's gonna win that award. I don't think he will, but um, obviously he's a possibility. But in the National League, I have Nolan Arenado winning the MVP, even though the Rockies won't make the playoffs. Um, and for the Cy Young in the National League, uh, I do have Max Scherzer winning it again, and once again, I don't really know many rookies in the National League, but um, I do know Louis Brinson's on the Marlins, but I don't know if he'll have a good enough season to win that award. But yeah, so those are all my predictions for the MLB this year, and I might do some MLB videos throughout the season. Other than that, I'll see you guys later. Peace.